and welcome to a special, almost postseason episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you for your continued support. We are the podcast that tells it like it is, no matter how good or how bad. And more often than not, it's more bad than good. So with me as every week is the crew. We have Lucas filling in tonight for Misael, and alongside me are John and David. How's everybody doing this Monday? Everybody doing all right?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I know.
The real question's Luke, who just drove 2.5 hours back to South Florida for college.
Oof. Where do you go to school? Oh, he's on
You're
mute.
muted, bud.
Literally says click on mute. I go to FAU, so it's
Oh,
like
nice.
it took
Very
me
cool.
close to 3 hours.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a ride and a half.
Yeah,
So
over there in South Florida, dangerous territory.
I know, literally 40 minutes away from the enemies.
Oh, not good. Um, I wasn't supposed to be here tonight, but my kids and my wife were like, "Listen, it's Monday. We're done enough holidays, and we can skip one." So I'm here to our Jewish audience, which is a few people that always. Stop me at the stadium to say hello. I hope that you had a meaningful fast for Yom Kippur last week, and that you have a great Feast of Tabernacles starting tonight. And this past Saturday, I did not go to the game because there was an event for my kids for our congregation, so I missed that. I was that person in the background, looking at my phone and crying, small tear just going down my cheek like that. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
yes. So thank you to all of you watching right now. Just as a reminder, if you don't already, please follow, like, and subscribe our socials. We are on all the major platforms as In 90 Minutes Podcast. Also, you can watch us live on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch every Monday. If you don't get to watch us live, you can also consume this podcast after the fact, which we truly do appreciate. You can get it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and I think between those two, it makes it available on most major platforms. So that's the little spiel. So we have some housekeeping to do, right? Do we have anything Pride related? I know we have OCB news.
Yeah, Pride played 2 matches last week. First one was in the Champions Cup against Club America. Unfortunately, it was a defeat, 2-0. Forgot the match was on, to be honest with you, so I didn't see much of it. And then they had another match Friday, yet another draw. Kind of same old from them, from what we've been seeing the last 2-3 months, as far as their matches go. And I could not find the graphic for their next match, unfortunately, that they haven't released one on Twitter yet.
Okay. There you go. Very cool.
And then OCB played their final home match yesterday. Decent crowd out there. Disappointing match. Just nobody seemed to. It wasn't a good match. Nobody seemed to be on their A game, and more people a lot of them seem to be just not having a good game. Seemed like it was, unfortunately, one of those games for the most of the entire team. Caraballo, right as we walked in, not even 10 minutes, we were a little late, traffic was bad. 10 minutes into the match, he almost hit an absolute screamer of a free kick that hit bar down. But other than that, it was, pretty much all Cincinnati. That we did tie it up 1-1 because of the loss. Unfortunately, the boys will not be advancing to the playoffs. But, it's the reserve team. As much as it stinks to say it for the players, because obviously they're competitors. They want to win. Um, it was overall, I feel, a positive season for Orlando City B. Our starting lineup yesterday was just a decimal points, like 20.45 was the average age of the lineup yesterday.
Wow.
Uh, 3 players that aren't even eligible to vote yet, 2 or 3 18-year-olds. So, it's that's what the reserve team's for, is for the next crop of players to come up, because imagine a time where we don't have to go out to replace, a Cartagena. The next person's, on the bench waiting, or on the reserve team waiting, which we're only a couple years from that happening if we're able to keep everybody.
But
It's hard to keep, players like Gusky and Caraballo and Justin Ellis on a reserve team when they're getting offers from, you know, League Two, maybe League One in England, um, you know, leagues like that honestly are much better leagues than MLS Next Pro. Um, but the fact is that pipeline's starting to grow. That to for players to come up. The goal scorer yesterday was 17 years old, looking to be an Alex Freeman 2.0. Um, can't remember his name at the moment, but great headed ball in from a corner. I believe it was a corner. Um, and but overall, it's been a positive season for Orlando City B. I think as far as older players go, really the only older player um, is Thomas Williams and I can't Mercado, the goalkeeper. Unfortunately for Mercado, he's 26. So I would imagine he might be moving on soon, very soon, to another team to get some, senior team minutes. And then Thomas Williams is seems to be our left center back in waiting when it comes time for Janssen to hang the boots up, or when Janssen leaves us. Because yes, Thomas didn't have his greatest game yesterday, or even a good game yesterday, but everybody's going to have that off game. And but I would say that was the only off game I've seen him have this entire season. Usually, he's essentially Janssen, but on Orlando City B, where he's the guy that is going to put in a good performance, a quality performance every match he goes out there. And unfortunately, yesterday just was the one that he had that was off. And, unfortunately, 2 of his mistakes led to 2 goals. And it's the only match this year I've seen him be subbed out early. I'll just put it that way. And so, did any of you guys get to watch the match? Or
I got to watch the match all the way till we were 3-1, and of course I had to go run some errands. Before I talk about the game, I would like to say that we owe some thanks to head coach Manuel Goldberg, another Latino Jew as yours truly, assistant coach Julian Vergara, goalkeeper coach Marco Machado, a legend in this club that has been with us since the USL era, the strength and conditioning coach Andres Gonzalez. Also, we want to mention the support staff, the kit manager Paul Brace, the athletic trainer Taiji Murakami, and the team administrator Eva Angustiniak. And I hopefully, Eva, I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. These are the unsung heroes, the guys that and gals that go out there and and craft the players of the future. If you like what you see with a player like Alex Freeman and Gusky and Williams and Caraballo, all these guys that come in and out of the first team, uh, those are the people that do that. So I would like to send my appreciation to them for everything they do, because it's difficult. It's a B team, right? And hopefully next year we will see more support. Fortunately, because of everything that is going on in around my life, I can't be there. But next year I don't have an excuse because I got free tickets. I got free tickets as a season ticket holder, so I'm gonna go support the boys. My respects to John, who now lives further out up the road and still goes to the games. That's commendable, John. So I'm very happy that you're representing, and I invite the audience to go and support the boys next year. It's a lot of fun. It really is. It's not the first team. It's not the big stadium downtown, but it's football in its raw form. It's the future too, and like John and I and Ahmed have said it before. Those guys, they remember those faces. If you're the type of guy like me that likes to get signatures and shake hands or whatever, those guys will remember you when they're big stars. So as far as the game, unfortunate. It was a must win, and we managed not to do that. It's the first time that Orlando City B is missing the playoffs since 2002, 2022. So it's disappointing. But like I have said, a lot of the firepower, a lot of the talent that was making those playoff appearances has moved on. Some of the players have gone to USL. Some players have gone to other B teams. Some of the players have retired, and some players have made the jump into the first team and are playing zero OCB minutes. So it's a year of transition, and now we rest, we go back to the drawing board, and we plan for next year. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, last year we brought our friend Tom Lord to one of the OCB matches when he was in town, and he loved it. He's like, I could sit here all day and watch this type of soccer, because obviously it's not as skilled as MLS or any top league, but it's still good soccer. It's still high level soccer, and it's above college. Some of the players never even went to college or played in college anyway. They went straight from high school into the B team. But some players did, like Shaq Muhammad. Was a draft pick. Sukata, even though he's injured, played all last year on OCB. He was a draft pick, so it's a good chance to see the draft picks and kind of where they stack up, as well as the younger guys. And it's more of a pure sport watching event than all the glitz and glamour that happens at the senior team game matches inside the stadium. With all the loud music and the graphics on the board and the graphics around the stadium and all that. It's literally, there's a scoreboard on the other side of the field from the stands. The players sit under canopy tents on steel benches. I think they're steel benches.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and play, and you watch, and there's a lot of the players' families that are there. And, it's a good time.
Yeah, it is. It is. I did not get to go to watch it because I was actually on the other side of the field. The MLS Next was playing over there. So every time something happened and I heard the announcer, I opened up my phone and my Apple TV and I kind of catch up to see what was happening. So unfortunately, I didn't get to catch up, but I did see the score. And I think, to your point, John, I think it's nice to see them building up that pathway. I just would like to see us leveraging those players more during the season, because what happens is you have these players, and we always get to these points where we have international breaks and we have these other breaks, and then we say to ourselves, when are they going to play them? But the argument becomes, well, they can't, because they can only sign. So I know there's limitations on what they could do. I wish they would remove that to make it a little bit easier to bring these players in as needed, and because that's why you get them. You don't get them just to sell them. I mean, the club probably does, but it would be nice for Oscar to know, what, I have another full bench that if I really needed to, in like a die-hard emergency, to replace Wilder, instead of the club having to spend money for a short-term gap, maybe we can leverage somebody from OCB instead of
You
having.
mean like the rest of the world?
Well,
No comment. You
Well,
know,
I think about that, and I think it's down to the first team, isn't it, when it comes to leveraging these players?
yeah,
Because when you bring these young players in, it's normally when there's not a lot of pressure on them,
yeah,
And somehow this season, there's been a lot of pressure on us. There's been a lot of games that's been must wins and whatever. And you don't really want to knock a kid down when he goes in and you're like 1-0 down and you need an equalizer. That's not really what you want to bring a kid in.
that's true.
That's a lot of pressure for a
Yeah,
kid. So it's down to the first team when it comes to bringing these kids through. Allowing yourself to get comfortable wins, bring these kids on, get them some first team game time. But
exactly.
that's how you do it. And unfortunately, this season it's been far from easy.
Yeah,
It's far from easy wins. If anything, we've dropped points in positions where we shouldn't,
have.
But players like you said, like Caraballo, he's magic. Like we need to start playing him more. Like he's just for his age, he's just all over the place. Like just beyond miles ahead of his age. Like Thomas Williams, he's an athlete. Wow. Like he's built for a centre back. Like he's 6'8". I think is he 6'8"? Am I right in saying that, David?
Find
Is he
out.
6'8"?
No, I think
Williams
it's
is 6'4".
thank you. I thought it was
I
6 foot.
thought he was. He's tall, isn't he? He's
No,
a
no.
tall,
You're talking about our goalkeepers. Our goalkeepers are
sorry, yeah, he's like
Otero's 6'5", but Mercado is 6. He isn't that tall. 6'2", 6'3".
So Thomas Williams, yeah, he's 6 foot. Sorry, not 6'8", but he's 6'3". He's massive for his
Yeah.
age. He's like
Yeah.
20, 21. He's definitely going to get some game time. I think we have to keep him. He's a young kid. If we don't keep him, he's going to move on. Like I feel like he's got the confidence in his head to say, "Well, if you're not going to play me, somebody else is."
Yeah.
Um,
And that's the frustrating part is to see these players come play OCB and then they leave and go somewhere else, and you're like, wow.
Well, there was that Spanish kid from who went to Europe, Granada.
Belgium, Granados.
Yeah, Granados.
Yeah,
And
but he
didn't even play
definitely
a first team game.
he didn't want to stick around. That was a problem. He was in the sub 20 U20 for Spain, and
As a
in order to
16-year-old, he
remember,
was on the U20.
yeah, we play him 5 minutes of a MLS game in order to like crank up the price, and we sold him for $2 million. So
Fair enough.
yeah, that
And
was
he almost had a goal in those 5 minutes.
Just imagine
If you
if he
remember,
played more
he had a-
games.
He had an absolute cracker that from 25, 30 yards out that almost went in.
But I think yeah, that's my opinion on it. I think John nailed it when he was talking. He says the results don't matter; it's player development, and we're doing that. So because you can name players on our team, on OCB's team, on our team, who have potential to make it to that first team, like Gusky, like Caraballo, like Williams, players like that, Justin Ellis. Players like that who can make that step. So that's the goal. I'm not worried about results. Results.
Justin Ellis is the big question going into the postseason. Does he stay? Does he go? Justin, if you're listening to this, there's an old man, 49 years old, that sits on the south side that would love for you to sign that contract. So if you can, I don't ask for much. I just ask for you to take your talents to Central Florida. Keep him here because we definitely need you.
But that's my opinion on it. Is you're doing your job. You're developing players. That's the goal of the OCB team. And
Yeah, Justin Ellis does have one more year on his contract, so I would imagine something to happen this offseason, whether he gets his contract gets sold or we sign him to a homegrown deal or something. I don't know how that works since he did come over from Miami's academy just 2 years ago. I don't know how what the stipulations for homegrown are with that, but it'd be nice to know where he's going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any other housekeeping we want to talk about? Any other news?
No, before we go, I know it's not important. It's not important, but to the fans that have listened to us for years now, this past weekend, Ahmed and myself and Misael got to watch the Stevenage versus Latin game. First time the guys actually watched Stevenage, and result 2-0 victory by the good guys. Latin ended up firing their manager after that.
No, seriously.
Right. And Stevenage is top of the table, League One championship. Here we go. And I just want to say it was fun to watch the game with friends, even though we were not literally not in the same room, but it was
That's
good.
the next. That's the next thing we have to set up.
Yeah,
watch
it was. Yeah, for sure. It was pretty cool. Thank you for the guys for joining me on that. And a little segue to what we're gonna be talking about tonight. And I'll make it quick because I want us to concentrate around the city. And Luke and I were talking about this because unfortunately, Luke's team Blackpool fired their manager this weekend as well. Uh, the situation here is, guys, that when you want success, you have to take drastic moves, not the popular ones, the ones that make sense. My team, Stevenage, avoided relegation 5 years ago in the courtroom, not on the pitch, and then was at risk of being relegated 3 years ago. They changed managers, they brought in the players, and last year, with the manager that we have right now, Alex Ravel, I was disappointed. I was like, this guy was a manager before, he got fired, blah blah blah. But a lot of people were telling me, look, give him a chance. He's cooking. He's building the team that is gonna take us. And being the scumbag Orlando City fan that I am, I'm like, I heard that before here in Orlando, but now you're seeing Stevenage top of the table. One only has lost one game and tied one game. So what I'm going with this is that we've been told at Orlando to trust the process and to be patient, and I have seen that work. But I have seen that work when you hire the right person for manager, when you hire the right players. Not because it's we're throwing a lot of money at the problem. We are going and recruiting the right connections to make it happen. I want that here in Orlando. And I want to send a shout out to our friend Taylor Williams from Orlando City, UK, who was at the game alongside our good friend Kevin Reese, who's also a member of Orlando City, UK. So they get it, they get it, and
David, real quick before we
yeah,
get too far longer,
yeah, brother,
how long was that process? Was that 5, 6, 7, 8 years, or was
2
that
years, brother,
2 years?
2 years.
Average length of a manager is, what did I say, about 18 months?
In the EFL is 18 months the average.
Yeah. No, I think in the world it's 18 months.
Yeah, it's very rare a manager, unless you're really successful, unless you're like a phenom, your managerial careers are cutthroat. If you don't get success from day one, then you're done.
And what's considered success, Luke?
Winning games.
Winning
We
trophies.
get-
Kicking towards the wall in the second
What are
half.
you talking
That's
about?
considered
What?
success. No, I'm joking. No, but yeah, winning games, playing good football. It's all fun and game. David knows about this. We spoke about this before the podcast. Stevenage were winning games at one point. Before his manager came in, it was Steve Evans, I think it was. Whatever. And they were playing ugly football, but they were winning games. And you want to play beautiful football and win games. That is the goal of football. And if you're not going to do that, and if you don't provide results, and if you don't win games when you should, including coming back from you're up in the positions and you don't, and you're up a goal, and then you lose 2-1, or you're up a goal and you draw games at home and drop points, then it's just, you need to reevaluate the situation. reevaluate the style of play, especially if you've been given the resources, for so many years to switch teams and go around and get players and, you've been provided resources, because there's some managers that have less resources than you and doing more than you. So if you've got the resources and you've been provided a foundation to, share your style of play, and you're not winning games and you're playing bad football and conceding in the last minute, yeah, your job should be under fire. And I feel like that's the difference between the MLS and the rest of the world is, relegation. Relegation is a real thing. It's a real thing. Like when you're in the back, when you're on the back foot, and you're sitting in December or November, and you're in the bottom 4 or bottom 3 in the case of the Premier League. Pressure is immense, and change has to happen.
Pressure makes
I
time.
feel like it's happened, recently with the likes of churn of managers going through the bottom teams. Like I can't think of some bottom teams on the top of my head.
Chicago.
Like Chicago and stuff like that. They kind of get rid of their manager and bring people in. It's happened recently,
Atlanta.
but in the sense of that pressure requires change.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like it, and nobody wants to be in a relegation battle. So luckily we don't have to deal with that in Orlando, and probably ever. But
the thing I find interesting about our situation is 3 years ago, if we lost to New York Red Bulls in the Open Cup semifinals, he was out. What did we do? Go out and score 5 goals. This past year,
let's talk about John, if you don't mind. Let's stay there for a second. On that event, we are not saying this. We were told from sources that are very reliable that had Oscar Pareja had not won that game against Red Bull in 2022 in the Open Cup, that was it. Our ownership was there. The hammer was ready to be dropped, and we won in spectacular fashion. And then we had what you would consider success. We lifted a trophy that year. The following year, we finished second in the league, et cetera, et cetera. So, I want to remind everybody that the manager always walks a fine line, and we have said here we love Oscar and that we think he's awesome as a person, but at some point we have to see that after 5 years he's the common denominator. Can we do better? It's a fair question. Doesn't mean that we're saying fire the guy. We're just saying it's a year where we have to make decisions at the end that may be risky, maybe dangerous, and that's basically what we're saying. And by the way, Jonathan, thank you. Happy Sukkot to you as well.
But then we go to this past year. Poppy's in talks with about an extension, and we're scoring goals left and right, and then all of a sudden he signs the extension, and we don't score a goal for 3 or 4 matches. We also don't concede a goal, but we don't score a goal. And I just find it really, I just find that really interesting that that trend is there. It seems like, we Poppy, it seems to be under the gun, and is facing something with his contract, and then he comes out and shows and then the team has a performance, and then he seems to be safe or signs an extension, and then they're fine. And I mean, I think it's interesting. Also, you remember 2 seasons ago in May, there was that whole thing that happened on that random day, where something was supposed to happen at the club, and it was a bunch of rumors and all of this in May, and then all of a sudden we come out and you know we catch fire directly after that. We have one of the best summers in MLS history.
And that has been something at the club, guys, that where we are hit. We summer is either we get white hot, or we start heading down south. In this the we all remember the summer of sadness, and this year a lot of people are blaming our situation right now on Leagues Cup, that we should have just let it go, right? And let's be honest, it wasn't until that last game against Pachuca, if I'm not mistaken, that we actually managed to qualify, because otherwise we would have been out. So and people are mad because, oh well, we went to against Miami on a fixed game. I believe that the league had no interest in having us in that final, because we don't. I mean, nobody wants to see Alex Freeman. They want to see Messi.
Well,
That's the
we don't have anybody that's going to cause international headlines by spitting
right,
on an
and
opposing
that's
player.
perfectly fine. That's
But
but
no, I looked it up, David, to see about what happened 2 years ago. That's what I was doing while I was talking. I was trying to find that. So all of that happened on a May 10th. The day before that was when we lost. Not to bring up bad memories, but when we lost to Charlotte in the U.S. Open Cup. We proceed over the next, I'll say 3 months, basically, to only lose 3 matches. Prior to that, since April 1st, so in a little over a month, we had lost 4. So I just, I find it's kind of a trend, if you will, of what's going on with our club, where it's like, oh, Poppy's contract's coming up to the end. We're going to have a good season. 23, 24, we had a good season. 22, we won the trophy. Then, beginning of the year, like I said, Poppy was in talks to extend his contract. We had a pretty good start to the year, pretty good March, and then all of a sudden, was it April? We all of a sudden couldn't score a goal to, we couldn't hit the net. We couldn't hit water if we were
lost to
on a
Nashville
boat.
at home in the Open Cup, which, by the way, congratulations to them winning their first trophy.
Just seems to be like he seems to be in this spot of talking about Pereira here, of invincibility because he won a trophy. I'm not saying it's a bad thing also winning a trophy, but sometimes your expectations need to be more than that. Sometimes we just need to find a manager that could win. Find a manager that has a proven track record of winning stuff.
But
I'm not saying he doesn't, and I'm not saying, but sometimes football can become stale. Teams can become stale.
Voices can become stale.
Sorry?
Voices can become stale.
Yeah. And, as much as thank you, you brought us to this level, you won us a trophy, blah, blah, blah. We want more than that. I hope people want more than that. I hope we don't just aspire. I hope we just don't aspire to get into the playoffs every year and maybe get out and get third out, like get knocked out all those times. I hope we aspire to win the MLS Cup.
you know what I think it is? I think, Luke, to your point, I think it's like what you said last week when we were talking. There's a long road ahead. And as a club, we have a long way to go. And that's a big part of it, because there is a lot that we as a public in the MLS or the MLS community is not ready for. Like it's very harsh, I feel like, for people to hear stuff like we're talking about. David talks about his club firing managers after they lost a couple of matches, or people don't see it like that. They're like, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. You made the playoffs 6 years in a row. You'll eventually get there. When is eventually not enough? You know what I mean? Like, when do you have that connection and I'm going to go back to the Stevenage match, right? You see the connection between the fans and the coach and the team. It's a different level that we're not at yet. I don't personally think. We have great interactions with them, don't get me wrong, but it's different. It's different for Stevenage, it's different for the Ahli, it's different for clubs outside of the States, I feel like, where those expectations are different. So I don't know what you guys think about that. It's just, I don't know. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's just.
Well-
I think it's also. I think it's just we're kind of getting.
You guys haven't mentioned it yet, but Rangers also fired their
Right,
manager.
Rangers fire man.
Yeah, but that's like.
And he hasn't
fantasy.
lost many games.
I'm sorry. There's the Scottish Premier League. There's
And-
like a.
And to be clear, for those of you who are listening, we're not saying Oscar needs to go. We're saying we need to expect more.
I
Because
am.
the sound, well, but I'm saying the sound bite is, oh, they want to ask. You know what? If we do what we need to do, if we made it in the let's see, we finished what, 4th last season, second
Second the year
season
before.
before. Now
Yeah.
we're what, 7th,
Yep.
right?
So
With the
So,
possibility of ending in the wild card game, Ahmed. Let's not ignore that.
please.
So,
But we
Ahmed-
made the playoffs.
Ahmed.
We made the playoffs. That should be enough, right? It's
Ahmed,
like-
I know you guys run a professional podcast and whatever, and you guys are very much professionals here. But I'm going to say it, right? And this
Okay.
is I've always said, if I was to ever do a podcast, or if I was always going to be 100%, honest and whatever. If he doesn't win football matches and he doesn't aspire to what we are, he should go. There's been managers in the past in world football that's been sacked. Mourinho has been sacked, and he won a Premier League with Chelsea.
Mhm.
Managers. Chelsea's the worst for this. So if you're a Chelsea fan, but we should Chelsea aspire for more. Chelsea aspire to win. And, if we aspire to win, we should be at that level. We spend enough money. We get to that point where we are in the big boys now. We're not like spending it on one player. We're spending it on a team. We've got fantastic players. We've got possibly we've got player of the season prospects like Ojeda, who's just tearing up the league this season. We've got players where we just have to say we do aspire for more. And I look at Ojeda sometimes and I think, is this manager still getting the most out of him? And I think no. And it's about getting the most out of the players that you have. And I feel like I see some of these players in our team. I see some of these players, coming off the bench. And he's not getting the most out of them. And he needs to, because they're fantastic players.
Mhm.
And sometimes that's just a change is what you need. Not necessarily just like, I'm trying to say this I'm not saying, yeah, he's got to go. Just sack him. I want him to lose his job. Because that's his job at the end of the day. He's done a great job. But football, we support Orlando City Soccer Club, not Pappy FC. He's the manager. There's going to be a lot more. There's been a man. We've got Adrian Heath, Jason Christ, James O'Connor, managers before him.
Yep.
We've supported the club before, and we'll support him after Oscar Pereira. The emotional attachment is too much sometimes.
And even though I'm for letting him go or saying that he needs to go at this point, I still say he deserves the first statue that we have outside of the stadium. He brought us our first trophy, brought us from the depths of losing to be a perennial power. But unfortunately, and the last 2 seasons has shown with the gradual decline. Because if we continue to decline the way we've declined the last 2 seasons, we don't make playoffs next year.
And I think we're all saying the same thing, just in a different way. My point is, when I say we, all the fans need to have that level of expectation of this team. And right now, that we is a small group.
Like a minority.
Yeah. And that for me is the issue. It's that if you were to take a microphone after the match and get people's feedback, how do you feel? The majority of the people will be like, we'll make the playoffs next season. until we get to a point where we as fans, as a fan base, and that's what I was trying to get at before,
Yeah.
demand more than just making the playoffs, we're gonna get what we're getting. Let's be
Well,
honest. Because
Red
that
Bull,
for them, they're selling tickets are selling, people are
right,
happy, the seats are full,
right.
they're changing sections,
But they're
they charge more
doing
for the seats. Guess what? As long as people are showing up in those seats,
yeah.
And that's great. But
But
Red Bulls made playoffs for 15 years in a row. Won the East last year. They
Mhm.
are a founding club, and that means at this point 29 years, 30 seasons, and they never won MLS. So and they have won the Supporter Shield twice. So
that was such a
making
gutting moment. Can I tell you? When
yeah,
I
brother.
had to leave, and when I saw that confetti coming down on the street, oh,
I didn't stay long enough or even look at the
I
stadium
left
to
as
look
soon
at it.
as the whistle was blown, and I when I was exiting, I heard their fans saying MLS Cup, MLS, and I was angry because that was our time that we
yeah,
let it slip
you're
away
never
at
gonna
home.
get a better opportunity than that to win. You're at your home.
Right.
You're at your home ground playing an Eastern Conference final. What an opportunity!
To a
And
team that failed to make playoffs.
if there was any time to like to say for Pereira to say that's enough, that was it, in my
And he
opinion.
didn't.
I,
That's the thing is he never has. Every must win match that we've had the last 3 seasons, so 23, 24, and 25. Every must win match we've had, they've came out and played the same exact way. And I know, jumping ahead just a little bit, but came out Saturday, played that way. For what was it, Luke? 29 seconds into the match, I was losing my mind. We
Yeah,
were letting Columbus play with the ball, 15 yards inside.
no pressure, no pressure, no press, no urgency to get the ball, just allowing them, you know, playing
But
like bloody five in the back.
yeah, but
You know,
you look at Saturday, you look at last year against the Red Bulls, you look at how we played against Atlanta last year, you look at how we played against Charlotte last year, you look at how we played the year prior to Columbus in the playoffs, which was really our only must-win match that year because we had a fantastic June and July and most of August. But those 5 matches that are must-win matches, crucial matches, you come out and you play the exact same way, and 3 of those 5 matches you didn't get the result you wanted.
And there's a
Actually,
reason
no,
for
I'm
that.
sorry. 4 of those 5 matches because Charlotte we went in the penalties twice. Columbus 2 years ago we lost. Atlanta we did win. New York we lost. We just drew against Columbus and we had to win that to have a chance at even a chance at top 4.
I feel bad for the little 5-year-old, 6-year-old kids who watch Orlando City every week and say this is
oh,
great football because it's not.
It is not. And I
Like
gotta tell you
if
what.
they think that this is peak football, then they're gonna say I was raised on Oscar Pereira ball, and this is football and at its finest. For
And I have to tell
if
you,
there's a 5 or 6-year-old listening to this podcast, it's only up from here, mate. It's only up from here.
I have to tell you
From
this.
Father
Ahmed brought something up, utilizing what he got to see with Stevenage. First of all, Alex Ravel, the manager, retired as a player at Stevenage. He was academy. He was reserves manager. He was an assistant. I mean, the only thing that the man has not done is being kid manager and gardener, and maybe sell tickets in the box office. But the fact is that the fans that you saw there understand what relegation is and what being relegated means, what sucking means, what means in 1996 to win the league to get promoted into the EFL and be told you don't have the finances, you don't have the stadium, you can't move on to the fourth division. That's what happens. I personally, I am very frustrated with the way our fan base always acts. Oh, we made playoffs. Everything is great. Everything is awesome. We have said it here many times. So rather than me telling you, I'm gonna tell you something that happened where I chose to uh, shared this on Facebook on one of the groups that I'm a member of, and this is what the reaction was, guys. If you allow me, I said awful performance, 39% possession. A loss versus Vancouver can place us in the play-in game. We struggle versus a team that is very bad. Had the winner with Ojeda, but chooses to pass to Duncan. See us out. I see us out in the first round. To me, the season is a failure since last year we lost a trophy at home versus a team that failed to make playoffs this year. And this person, I'm not gonna say his name. He's entitled to his opinion. He said, "For the love of Kaká, please shut the fuck up." And you guys, please excuse me.
Beep.
All right. So, I don't, guys, can you still see me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, 'cause I just shut on my computer, so that's what happened. So let's see here. Sorry.
But to go with, I'll let you deal with that,
Go ahead,
David. I
brother.
got one thing to say real quick. Promotion relegation for the four of us would be awesome here in the United States. The problem is if there is promotion and relegation, even if it's down one division in the United States, with the way Americans see sports, those clubs will just die and
There's
sit
no
and
teams.
fester in the lower division.
John, there's also no teams.
There's enough teams out there where if the
No,
MLS really wanted to do it, they could merge or buy out
but they're not teams.
USL or buy USL team, whatever it may be, make that instantly the lower league, have our, and it literally could be done essentially overnight.
No, but John, what I'm trying to say is they're not teams. No MLS team is a team. They're all franchises.
Well, yes.
Right,
They're
right.
all
And
franchises. They're not teams.
if
Yeah,
you
and
guys
that's,
listen to
and
this,
that's why it wouldn't work. That's
And
why
that's
it
why
would
it
never
wouldn't
let it
work.
happen.
Because they all
Yeah.
pay to be in the league. They all pay. They're all customers of the
Welcome
league.
to America.
So yeah, exactly. There you go. So what you're asking for with promotion and relegation is, I always spoke about this. I'm like, I freaking hate it. I want promotion and relegation. Is basically like throw billions at every single club in the league, and then like
You're on your own.
enough money to make the people in like the prawn cocktail brigade, beyond the prawn cocktail brigade, in like the sweet lounge, to say,
well, listen
know
to
what?
this, and you tell me this is what we're fighting. This is what we're fighting against. So the guy continues saying that I need to shut the f up. We have literally never had a team this complete. And anyone who has watched MLS for more than 2 seconds knows all you need to do is play well in the playoffs. Are we playing well in the playoffs? Not with that performance. The regular season barely matters.
The what?
Tell anybody that watches football overseas that statement, sir. The regular season barely matters. But if it does to you, I say check out the fact that we never scored this many goals in a season. Again, once again, we're the tallest midget in the world, so we are big, and we will absolutely be lethal in the play. I don't know what game this person was watching. Columbus is not a bad team at all. Yet they are in the play-in, so I guess I'm mistaken. And I think the entire plan exploding in the first 3 minutes of the match is a factor too. Since last year we lost a trophy at home versus a team. LOL. Sometimes I feel like you type to type. Well, Luis Guzman. I wasn't gonna say your name, but now that I read this, I see that you are making fun of me. I know more football than you. I know more football than you. I follow
Well,
Powerhouse.
here's the thing I want to ask David real quick, so you can take a breath. What team has he been watching the last 3 years to make him think we're going to go off in the playoffs? Or the last 5 years, the last 6 years, rather, 6 seasons.
Last.
I've never seen a team that looks consistently threatening to where they can go 4 or 5 games in a row and light up the playoffs.
I also just don't see a team that's threatening.
And honestly, this entire season, I haven't seen a team that's, I lost the word, inspired. When have we played inspired? When have we played an inspired match? twice against Miami, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. We're
Even
playing
then-
one of the
even
greatest
then.
players of all time. You of course, everybody's going to be inspired.
Oh
But
my
when
God.
you have Muriel sitting there doing a salsa 8 yards from net, when he could have just easily put a shot on, and again, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but he's done that all season. The ball would be at his foot, and he tries to dance with it, and then he stopped. Doesn't even get a shot off.
No, absolutely. But John, you're being an intelligent person when you're discussing this. But we are fighting. You know who we're fighting? We're fighting against the happy clappers and those who are cornhole champions, like our friend Luis Guzman. When our good friend Dan Sawyer tells me, so true, OC will be the one and done in the playoffs. They can finish in the offensive zone. Luis continues by saying, yes, because setting a franchise record for most goals is a season means we can't finish in the offensive zone. We've been outside field goal range, making all the goals, and I think we need to shoot inside the infield more. Home run. What are we talking about? By the way, I love the fact that he says he continues to tell Dan Sawyer that he's a effing idiot if you can't comprehend the facts. I'm sorry, Luis. I think you are the one that continues
Well,
to.
the fact is we finished 7th. 60 goals mean absolutely
That's
nothing.
not good. That's
I'd
not a
much
good.
rather be in Cincinnati's position where they've
That's not a
scored.
good.
I don't think they've scored. I don't have it in front of me, but I don't think they've scored over 50 yet. Much rather be in Cincinnati's position. And what are they, second in the league right now?
Yes.
Than our position, and we scored 60. Cool. We could score 100 goals in the season, but if we don't win, if we don't win the supporters shield, it means nothing. Nothing.
But it's
Yeah.
too many. We look back on this season, right? And there's like 2 games to go, and there's games that you look and you walk away at home. This is the key thing. You're at home. We don't play. We have never played. I don't think under Pereira unless it's a big game and like the players are up for it and whatever. We don't play like we're at home. We don't. At home, you're supposed to be, forget kicking towards the wall in the second half because that's just a coin toss again. No matter what way you're kicking, you could be kicking down to bloody, you could be kicking sideways, bloody up, back, wherever. You're supposed to be up for it and take the front foot at home. Win your home games. And we've had so many opportunities this season to win our home games. And what have we done? We've gone out and we've played football in our own half, opportunities to go forward, get into the opponent's box, and you pass it back. And next thing you know, 4 or 5 passes later, Galese has the ball for some reason when you're on the edge of the opponent's box. It only takes when you think about it and you think about it deeply, and this is what the thing when your home fans are begging for substitutions in like at half time, you know that you've not had a good half of football at home, especially attacking wise. And maybe being a bit harsh here, like just a little bit. But when Spicer comes on or like another player comes on and has this burst of energy, I'm like, I want that in my team. Like these players who feel like their spot is invincible because let's just say it how it is. Pereira has favourites. It's obvious. There's been players in and out that's come out of the club. Pereira does have favourites when it comes to. It's not always been like off of form necessarily. It needs to be the best players on the pitch. And when I see players like Spicer, Nico Rodriguez has had some bright moments and I think he does need more game time, not just 3 minutes of added time. You need to play these players into games. That's what you need to do. And especially if you're playing at home, you should be cruising against teams that we've played against this season, and I find it ridiculous that we've made it difficult for ourselves, not because of kicking towards the wall in the second half, or not because we've won a coin toss or whatever. It's because of the fact of we're just not playing good attacking football. We're not playing home football. You should have a home style of play and an away style of play. And it seems like we've got one style of play, you know? And that's the
And
thing.
that style is extremely predictable.
David, I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, David.
Yeah, David, I think your mic's off. But no, that style Luke's talking about is very predictable. It's a very predictable style of play. And we've had one match where we truly look like the home side this year, and that was the Miami match a month and a half ago.
And you know what was crazy about that, John, is once we played like that, everybody got excited. I even got excited because I'm like, if we keep playing like the way we played against Miami at that home match, we're in good shape.
Sorry, we had two. We had Miami and then whoever we played last in the first phase of Leagues Cup.
Yeah, but they were back to back.
Yeah, basically.
After the Miami
Were they
match,
back
it was.
to back?
I think so. I think that was the last one before our Leagues Cup, and it was that first match in the Leagues
Okay.
Cup that we played at that point. I think, but my point is, we expected that. So that's why when we started to think about the Leagues Cup, I was like, if we play like the way we played against Miami for the rest of this cup, we're in good shape. Because then a couple of weeks later, we played Miami, and we all know what happened there. You know,
Right.
so it's frustrating. It's frustrating because there's not that consistency. And you
Yeah.
know, when people, because I'm looking at all the Facebook comments, it's like you have to realize what we're saying. It's like you try to not be emotional. I'm trying not to be emotional, but every time we played something that matters, you know what happens to our performance? It goes downhill for some reason. Lately, you're muted, Luke. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, we went to Coxo, who we beat 5-1, and then we
Yeah.
beat Miami 5-1 or 4-1. And then the next match after that was Sporting Kansas City, which was tied for the majority of the game, or for, 35 minutes or so.
But what I was saying is that we play the occasion and not the game.
Yeah, and the thing is,
We play the occasion.
I know we were talking about setting the franchise record for most goals in a season. Was that this season?
Yeah.
That was. Can you guys hear me?
That's Saturday.
Okay, but let me ask you something. How many goals? What does it matter? How many goals if you don't win the match? If I score 30 goals in a match and the other team scores 31, does it matter that it's a season's? No, it doesn't. All that matters at the end of the day is who gets the 3 points. Especially if it's a playoff or if it's a tournament, and what we're showing more and more is when it comes down to for whatever reason, and don't call this out like, oh, you're not a fan. I am a fan, but I'm expecting us to play that way in the games that matter. The games that matter are the ones that we need to win, not the ones that don't.
I'd rather have. This is the football, whatever you can call it, whatever the English. I'd rather have 34 1-0s for the rest of from the start to the end of the season, with us knocking the ball, playing beautiful football, and getting 1-0s and not conceding any goals. I'd rather have that than winning 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I get it. It might not be the most exciting, but if you're watching it and it's appealing to the eyes, and you look like you're playing, and then you get a goal, and the next thing you know, you're still playing great football, you're creating chances and whatever, and then you might not get the goal, but you win the game. That's perfect. I don't want us to win, right? And we're winning 6-4, and we're 4-0 down after 4-0 down in 30 minutes, and then next thing you know, we're 4-2 down, 4-2. Then it's now 6-4. We were 4-0 down. You probably played atrociously. I get it, you won the game, but at the same time, it's about style of playing football in a great way. So, I'd rather have.
Just look at the table, just to clarify what I was saying.
Sure.
Cincinnati has 49 goals for this year, but yet they have
What's their goals conceded?
40.
And that's what I was going to, John. The fact that we score 60 goals is meaningless when the stat that matters in football is wins.
Yes.
Wins.
And you know
You
what?
can
If
score
you if
5
you
goals and still lose a game.
we
We've
have
seen that.
only won 43% of the matches that we've played. So if you're talking about the number of goals you scored, the number of goals you score sounds like a great stat until you say how many of those matches did we actually win? 43%. So if that's a grade, like a school grade, that's an F, right?
Yeah.
You're going to talk to me about draws and single points. Any 90% of those draws that we had, I would say should have been wins. Maybe some of those extra goals that we scored.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely. I know so many times I've walked away from games and watching it on telly where you think, we should have won that bloody game.
Yep.
We should have won
One
Think
it.
win
about
out of our last
Montreal. Think about DC.
Yeah. I think about DC United. Like, they are awful. Like, they are the worst team this season I have seen. And we gifted them a result. Gifted them.
right, but going
They
back
should have
to
been dead in the water.
our fan base that equates success by going to the playoffs. And by the way, 60% of the league makes playoffs. It's not an achievement. I think even more. It's
That's
60,
what I
I
was.
think it's 66%. It's 66% makes playoffs. And then two of the teams, we give them a reprieve. We give them an opportunity to sneak into the playoffs, for the love of God. So what frustrates me after, and I had this conversation with Taylor on Saturday. I had this conversation with him where you go and you watch great English football, yes, third division, but then at night, when okay, Orlando City, let's go because we're all pumped up after seeing Stevenage, and then we do that. Then we do that. We concede early. I'm sorry. That we were gifted a goal. It was a spillage. It wasn't like in the play
It was a
of the
tap.
game. We got a yeah, it was a tap in. Thank you. So my frustration is, my friends, and I'm naked here. I'm bearing you my soul here. Is that when people criticize the manager, our style of play, players. We have people like that gentleman on Facebook that all he has to defend is cursing at people. Oh, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, Luis, that I'm not at your intellectual level, but just like you, I give my time and my money and my effort and my hopes to this team to win championships. And it's been 11 seasons and 10 years in MLS, and we are exactly where we started, without a star above the crest. So, with that said, if we criticize the club, if by the way, we're a podcast. This is what we're here to do. Otherwise, you can tune into the team social media if you want to feel good videos and feel good, content. We're here to dissect, give you an opinion. My opinion is as valid
I'll
as yours.
it so you don't say it. There's another podcast out there if you want to feel good about things.
Right, exactly. You can definitely do that. And I
Yeah.
finished with this because I suffer from this thing being called Puerto Rican. We're talking with our hands, we get agitated because I love the club, and these guys know. I mean, they have interacted with me in the real world. They have had conversations with me. They met me, so they know. These guys know. All the guys here on the screen, people that are commenting, people that have met me, know understand this. I love Orlando City, and I want us to win. And I don't think that I have ever um, done criticism that is beyond the realm of being constructive. I don't go and on cursing tirades where I'm like, oh, this guy needs to be fired, and I with nothing to back it up. And I finish with this. I just think that this season, as we stand right now, was not a successful one. And the club obviously is going to spin it. We score 60 goals. We have this many players higher internationals. We pack the house so many times, and that's all beautiful. That's all great. That's the information that you take to your to the sponsors, and you take to try to get more season tickets and season ticket holders and all that. You can do that, but at the end of the day,
You
what I
forgot that
feel.
we have the leading DP trio in the league's scoring DP
Right, and
trio.
we have so
Because
many
if they don't
players.
score, nobody else can score. So
Right, and we have
Doesn't
so many
matter.
players
It
on
does not
team of the
matter.
week, goals of the season, all that. And right now, most likely, Alex Freeman is going to be selected as the U22 Player of the Year and all that. And Ojeda is in the race for the Golden Boot. This is what I have to tell you guys. Plain and simple, the team that is going to end up lifting a trophy is the team that goes and score goals and wins games. And there's a good chance. There's a good chance that it may be San Diego. Hey, there may be San Diego who's on their first season. If that happens, what is our excuse at that point?
yeah, and I mean, one, David, you need to add a third phrase to that to steal Luke's with tailgate cornhole champions, happy clappers, and the prawn cocktail brigade. I feel like that
Cocktail Brigade.
encapsulates everybody.
Hey,
Um,
it's all good. It's all good and fun and games, John. You know, when you're watching football where we are, and like, you know, you're sweating in the concrete and whatever, and you know. But if you're like getting some prawn cocktails and like bloody eating some shrimp and some bloody corn on the cob in your luxury seats, yeah, football must be
you got
bloody
your
nice.
you got your $40 cocktail in your hand.
Exactly. It must be flipping nice. But most of us, as in 95% of the stadium, doesn't. So, you know, we go because we want to see Orlando play good, win football matches, not concede goals, and then not concede goals and score goals.
Tell
That
them
is it.
what we went through. Well, you didn't because you got there after the rainbow. Well, how'd I look when you showed up to the?
Oh, you look like you bloody had a shower.
I'm out there. It is downpouring because we had some extra people at the tailgate. So we had all these wings together and all this, and it's downpouring. You know, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I'm out there grilling wings on my little camping grill. Barrett's out there running around in the mud, kicking soccer ball with one of the guys out there, and Luke comes up, and we're all drenched, but that's what we go through to see our club play. You know, we literally take our entire Saturday, except for a couple hours in the morning when Barrett has his soccer training, which is literally a 45-minute session. Overall, it's about an hour and a half between travel and everything. But it's a 45-minute session. Other than that, our Saturday is the Orlando City game. Most of our Friday evenings preparing for it if we're making food. And then our Saturday revolves around that. And it's not just, we show up, you know, I know we're different than David and Ahmed. You don't have time to do it because you have kids running around the state playing soccer. But we literally show up to the stadium between 3:30 and 4:30. Sometimes it gets pushed to 5. We tailgate, we have a little bit of food, we go into the match, we, you know, yell our lungs out. I mean, we give it all for that match. And then when you have players on the pitch that are looking like they're just there to collect a paycheck,
Yeah, it's frustrating.
you know, what are you going to do?
Listen, I get there. I get there literally sometimes 15 minutes before kickoff. I run to my seats. Some days I may buy a poster. Some days I may buy a blue Powerade, and that's about it. And somebody here is insufferable tonight, so I apologize for that.
Let's go
Um,
back to
but
what happened actually on Saturday.
Yeah, no, but for me, I'm not who they want to at the stadium because I spend $0 really. I'm just there to win. I'm just there to see great football, and again, I don't. I'm sorry that I keep hammering on this because it's the same old song, season after season. you fan base are gonna get the team that you deserve by how you act. If you are, everything is awesome, everything is cool, we make playoffs, and then they're gonna give you the towel, to shake, and they're gonna give you the posting. Our season comes to an end. Thank you, fans. Listen, this past Saturday was fan
Fan
appreciation night.
appreciation. Did you guys get the T-shirt?
No, they don't pass it out in the wall.
I-
They don't do any of the.
I
Only
know,
thing
I know,
they've
I
done
know.
this year on the wall
You
is
have
that
one of it?
stupid little.
I got
orange
one.
ball.
Yeah, I got one.
Please show it because I missed it.
Oh yeah, I'll get it. Hold on.
Mate,
Thank you, bro.
the biggest fan appreciation night I needed last night was not last night, but Saturday was a bloody win. That is the way you need to appreciate this bloody fan base, is win football matches. Yeah, it should be fan appreciation night every night. And the way to know I feel appreciated is to win games. You know,
And
you
I know
you can hand me a freaking iPhone, right? And if you're not winning football matches, I don't feel appreciated. So I hope
and
somebody
to,
from the
to,
club
to go
is.
to add on to that, the giveaway thing or whatever they called it at halftime, you couldn't even scan the code from the wall.
There it is, David. Oh, he's not there. Oh, there he is.
Wait a minute. So it's just the our badge in a white shirt.
It's yellow and white.
Nothing in the back.
Oh, it's a half and half kit as well. I can't be bothered.
The ironic part is the Columbus colors.
I know, that's the worst.
and then my wife pointed something else out too, because the Columbus was wearing their away kit and the ref matched.
See, look, I can't be bothered. Like that is the way we're appreciated.
Absolutely.
Is a 50p t-shirt. You know, I feel so appreciated.
Just like the season ticket member gift there, Luke.
Oh yeah, you get like a $2.50 like scarf.
You get a scarf they ordered in bulk from Temu.
Anyway, do we want to actually go over the match at all, or do we just want to skip over
we can.
that?
Yeah, there's a couple things I want to hit.
What? What'd you say, David?
It's 10:15. Let's do that.
It's David's witching hours. Witching time's 10:30. So we got.
All right. So this past Saturday, we took on Columbus Crew at our home. The 22nd, 7:30. I was afraid that the match wasn't going to start on time with the way the weather was looking, but we got lucky. The weather cooperated, at least for the most part. We walked away dropping points once again. Honestly, I think this felt like a loss to me. It felt like a major loss. We could have won this. We should have won this, especially since they were not at 100% either, meaning Columbus. Their recently signed DP, who's like a former player from my Egyptian club, has an injury. He's out for the rest of the season, so that was a big deal. So I'm like, we're in good shape. I thought Diego Rossi was out also, but obviously not because he was playing. But yeah, I was underwhelmed. Our performance was very underwhelming. I'll say that. If you think that felt like a good match, it was not. My wife was looking at me. She's like, this is kind of boring. I'm like, yeah, it is because, it might be a 1-1, but I mean, there was nothing. If you're watching it, you're like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's all I could say to myself every time I was watching. So I'll open the floor for you, gents.
I just wanted to start off by saying, like, condolences to Jabe.
Oh my God! So what do we know? What happened?
I
just wanted to start with that. Like,
yes. Oh my gosh, that was heartbreaking.
I think everyone feels awful. He's just come back from injury, and he's now picked up a really bad injury as well again. So, I don't want any player to get back-to-back injuries. So I think we're sending love over to him, and
thank you for that. Yeah, thank you for that reminder. That was just
it was awful, I think. So
yeah.
But anyway, there is no brighter note on this game tonight when it comes to analysis. I was going to say on a brighter note, but Muriel, oh God, don't get me started with him. But he just some brighter spot performances. Of course, Ojeda played fantastic again. I just wanted to say that he's always putting in a good shift this season. He seems to be just consistently all around just doing good performances. So I don't. That goes without saying. Good on him. Galese, he's he's he had a few bright spots. So Muriel, what do you lot think? I think he's already been told he's not got a contract for next season.
Well, it's not even an option year, unfortunately.
Well, he's already guaranteed, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand it, to be honest.
But it's just the same. If we had a manager that truly cared about winning trophies and winning games that didn't care about the approval of the fan base in general, Muriel would not be playing the way he is. Everything Muriel does is he tries to be a showman and to please the fans. And the dude had to have been in his past life, had to have been a salsa instructor, because all he tries to do when he has the ball in the box is dance with it. I mean, I've never seen a striker whose sole main job, if you're a striker and you score goals, your job is secure. It's one of the easiest jobs in all of sports. Put the ball in the back of the net. Don't have to kick it 100 miles an hour. Don't have to look pretty while doing it. Put the ball in the back of the net, and your job is safe. And this dude can't do it. He had a 1v1 against a center back, had the angle on him where he could have taken the shot, and he tries to move it off to his cut inside to his left foot, his weaker foot, mind you, and gets stopped.
In his former life, he was probably a trampoline with the touch he has. It keeps on bouncing off him, going other places.
No, that's Nico Rodriguez on when he tries.
No, he's haircut 100, mate. More haircuts than appearances. That guy, I can't believe. His father needs a bloody contract with the team.
Yeah.
100, Nico Rodriguez.
But I knew 40 seconds into the match how it was going to go. I alluded to it earlier. I saw how they came out and how they were just letting Columbus, a team that thrives with the ball on their foot, that wants to have possession, said it feel like a broken record by this point. I said this 2 years ago, almost to the day when we lost to them in the playoffs. They want to have the ball on their foot. And we just gave it to them. We let them have possession the majority of the match. We had 39% possession at home in a must-win match. That's not winning soccer. You're never going to win a match. I shouldn't say never. You're almost never going to win a match having 39% of possession.
Yeah.
It's just it's so infuriating.
It's impossible. It's impossible to win a match. It's not impossible, obviously, but for regular football teams, it's.
But you know what the problem is? If we do, then people say, "You see," and you said we couldn't do it. Well, it's about doing it on purpose, not by luck.
Exactly. That's another thing.
It's about doing it on purpose.
It's like there's certain people in this fan base where they
I'm sorry.
hate
We were on the match, and I just took us like totally off sideways again.
No, I know, but I'm talking about the match here. That say it was like a good performance, like last night, like on Saturday. Sorry, I keep on thinking last night. On Saturday, saying it's a good performance, and it just wasn't. It wasn't a good performance.
No,
it's not good enough.
A lot of our matches recently have not been good enough, and I don't understand when people are going to see that. But
Muriel is starting football matches, and he doesn't deserve to start football matches. There's about, it's because our bloody front office and our management team messed up by selling Enrique. So now he's almost with Duncan's injury, he's almost, walked into the team. But if Enrique was still here, he'd be cashing in his 401k for the Muriel. Like, I don't know. Lads, it was abysmal, to say the least. It was just another Orlando City game where we should have won and we didn't.
Like I said after do you remember what I said after the match? And I even put it in the group chat as well.
What did you say?
Poppy ball at its finest.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was at its finest.
That's why I have said for now basically 3 full seasons. I've been on a show for 3 years for a podcast, this podcast for 3 years. And basically since our 4th or 5th show of me being on, I've said Poppy needs to go. Gave the benefit of the doubt in 22, and it was more of the same in 23, more of the same in 24, and more of the same this year. Don't get me wrong. We have looked like at times this year, we're the best team in MLS.
But we can't maintain that.
But Ahmed,
what comes with being the best team? You may share that for a match, but we've never done that 2, 3, 4, 5 matches in a row.
Exactly.
We've never shown the consistency that you need to be that top, be a top team, or to.
And that's the main thing, John.
Win the cup in the playoffs, make it to the finals.
Mm-hmm. But it's consistency. And yes. Ahmed, when we talk about consistency, like they always bring out the US Open Cup final, the MLS's back tournament, and like we made it to a final and whatever. And football's not played over the MLS. Unfortunately for people, newsflash, I'm being sarcastic here. The MLS season is played over 34 games and not 6 or 7. You need to be consistently good over 34 games. And in league play, we did do that for a season, or we did break our own records. Not general records, our own records. But in the past, our records have been abysmal. Like, absolutely abysmal. We broke records in the beginning of our MLS, campaign. Most goals conceded. Most, one I can bring up is Joseph Martinez breaking the I think it was the MLS, record goal score, the goal scoring in in that format for the season and stuff like that. It was abysmal. And when we sit here and we demand better, and again that was also in Pereira Ball when that happened, and we demand better and we demand these games to be finished like the Columbus game, where we played at home, right? And they had 60% of the ball. They had an XG of 3. They were playing away from home. Away from home, and they have an XG of 3.2. It's 6 shots on target. They 21 total shots. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, wow, who was the home team? And I hope everyone else thinks that as well, not just watching. Who was the home team in that scenario? And there's more. You can go back and you can look at statistics and say, yeah, but football's not played on paper. But when you're looking at the game, it does kind of show when you're getting absolutely pummeled at home and you should be taking the front foot. It should not be happening like that.
The biggest stat that I take away, Luke, from the match, shots on target, all of those are important. Yeah. But to me, the most telling of how the game went is big chances.
Yeah, 6.
We had 1. I'm guessing 6. That was the Muriel one. They had 6.
1.
If you only create one big, if you look at what happens in Europe, and I'm going to take just because of familiarity for, I'm sure a majority of the people watching this knows of the player. You take Christian Pulisic and he only creates one big chance in a match, he probably had a bad match.
Yeah.
If he has two or three, it's a decent match. We couldn't even meet a single player standard in a match as a team. And it's consistent. This is how it was against I forget the stat who but recently in the last several matches we had another match that we had one big chance for, or maybe two big chances. Like, we should be having a good team is going to have 4, 5, 6 chances a match. Big chances, big chances is what FootMob calls it.
Yeah.
You can have a shot on target that's a cross that the keeper catches inside the frame. That's why I kind of discounted a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's just a bad match, like the other two said. Pretty much feels like a loss. David, you got anything to add?
Yeah, just not really. Other than I'm disappointed. I'm really angry. So the less I say, the better. But I have to tell you, man. I love Orlando City. Orlando City made me fall in love with a beautiful game of football again. I was a Tampa Bay Mutiny supporter. I lost my club in 2001. I walked away from MLS. Orlando City brought me back. Orlando City introduced me to my Israeli team, my English team. Ahmed has seen how one time we were sitting in front of Maccabi Haifa fans. Those guys have become my friends. Orlando City, it's like the sun. I'm gravitating towards a beautiful game thanks to the beauty of a club that we have. Where I get disappointed, okay, mama. Where I get disappointed is when we have people that sort of like want to discount and want to justify when we're not doing good. We're not doing good, guys. We're not doing good, and you go on Facebook and you see people. Oh well, Columbus is not a bad team. They are like 2 points above the line. A play-in game is not good football. Okay, we once again, we have to say it over and over that if we went back to the old way, to the way they used to be, top six, single elimination, then I will say, yeah, making playoffs is a big deal. But we have you gotta win 2 out of 3 in the first round, and you gotta play in game and all this other nonsense. I'm sorry, we are not a good club, and I'm sick and tired of people coming here and saying, "Hey, I have a great time with my friends playing cornhole and tailgating. Therefore, you should shut up and let it be because next year we're gonna do it all over again." Like we said, we don't have promotion relegation. The season really doesn't matter because 66% of the league makes playoffs. And I want to see, to the people that told me, oh, I'm gonna screenshot this so when we're in the final. So what? We were in the final last year. Did we won? No. No. So screenshot all you want because I don't think we're gonna be in the finals. And I'm saying it right now. If San Diego wins MLS Cup in year one, after narrowly missing the supporter shield. By the way, congratulations to Philadelphia. What is the excuse? I want to hear what is the excuse.
But David, it's because the refs are terrible, and anytime we lose, the opposing keeper stands on their head.
I'm gonna finish my statement by saying this. Stevenage, yes, take your shot. Has conceded 1 goal all season, the last 10 games at home, and has conceded eight goals in 10 games. 3 of them in the one and only loss they have this year. So, my friends, goal differential means nothing to me or to us. It shouldn't matter to you if it doesn't come accompanied by wins. We can score 100 goals and lose 100 matches. And listen, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for the people. they listen. Players listen to us. The guys know. The family members of players listen to us. Some players listen to us. Why? I don't know. The staff, people at the club. You know why? You know why? Because if they want to hear the truth, they come to us. Because we don't sugarcoat it. We speak exactly how the fan that works Monday to Friday to pay for those tickets feels. I am saying it not right now. Orlando City has me locked for season tickets one more season. If next year we find ourselves doing this, baby, I would rather stay home and watch the games. And that's probably what I'm gonna do. You know, from 2015 to 2019, I couldn't afford them. I was fortunate that I have a job that provided me with the luxury of paying for season tickets. I've been a season ticket holder since 2019, and I've been there, man, in the good and the bad, and I think it's time. I think it's time for the club to understand that you can't spit on my cupcake and call it frosting, and I'm gonna eat it. I just think that it's time for us to get serious. So if next year we're here, and I should have just done it this year, but I procrastinated. Then count me out. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna quit supporting Orlando City. It's just that I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna save my money when Orlando City gets serious, because I've been serious. I've been serious since August of 2011 when I went to my first Orlando City game. I've been serious since then. I've seen this club do wonderful, and I've seen this club in the pit of hell. So I just want to win. I just want to win, and again, as long as we have a fan base that justifies mediocre results, we're gonna be here. We're gonna be here. So I will suggest for next game for the club to start printing T-shirts that says "I'm a happy clapper." I'm a happy clapper, and and distribute them. And for the love of God, distribute them everywhere. The wall wants, I'm gonna say something. I don't stand on the wall because I'm too old. The wall is for young folks like this guys. Um, but you know how disrespectful it is that you you have giveaways every single game, and you choose to ignore the one people that are chanting, that are jumping, that are drumming for 90 minutes. That is so. I'm sorry, Orlando. Do better. We're coming to the end, and our friend Ahmed is offline. And we have some comments if you guys don't mind reading those while we wait for Ahmed to get back.
Yeah, I got you. Going from the beginning of the show, Brocky Fix Remodeling said hello, Vivo Orlando City. Jonathan Ridner, thank you, Johnny, for watching today. Take a shot, John. I'm guessing he's talking about the drink I have with me. He continued, hello, boys. Hope all is well. David, happy, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'll butcher it.
Sukkot, happy Sukkot. Jonathan, I hope that you and your family are blessed this year. Thank you, my brother, and Hak Sameach to you.
And then Ray said, Luke, 100% inspired the kid and all of us. Poppy Ball is uninspiring. He continued to say, last 12 months has been very disappointing. 3 games, always one win away from winning something. Just where you continue, just win, baby. Miss Ayal said he never picked up his season ticket member package this year. Neither did I. I saw at the season ticket member game.
You get a better gift by going to Dollar General and pick up some things from from the floor in the toy aisle.
And then Ray continued to say, announcer said it best about Muriel. He tries to be cute. And our last comment says the consistency even within the game is abysmal. At least 20 minutes a match, we completely retreat from the match. Yeah, I mean, there's how many times do we, do you see it where they just can't clear the lines? Simply can't, and a goal's coming. You can see it. Same thing happened Saturday when Columbus scored. We got lucky later in the game when Columbus had it. when that same scenario happened that they didn't score. Luckily, Gillespie had a very fine match on Saturday. But let's move on. Ahmed said he had to drop off, so we'll move
Yeah, he's
on.
not coming back, guys. So
Uh,
we can have final word on
well,
the
we got to cover
expectations.
Saturday because we got big news about Saturday. The match against Vancouver. We are missing quite a few players, 3 starters specifically, a 4th that should be starting that isn't. So we're missing from the match because of international duty. We're missing Alex Freeman, David Brecalo, Marco Paslich, Tyrese Spicer, Javier Otero, Gustavo Caraballo, Colin Gusky, and Justin Ellis are all missing from the squad come this Saturday. And Vancouver's second in the West, I believe.
Yeah.
That is correct. And by the way, they are the reigning Canadian champions as well. So these guys are firing in all 4 cylinders.
They are missing a bunch of players as well out for injury. I don't know anything about them specifically, but they are missing like their top player, Brian White, who's out
But
with a
then they
hamstring.
have what's his name? Not Schweinsteiger.
Oh, and Misael says Gerbet is how do you pronounce it? Gerbet, right?
Gervais.
Yeah, Gerbet. He's not gonna be available for selection this coming.
Yeah, he's injured. I was just going over international players there. But yeah, they have Brian White's injured. Renko I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
Veselinovic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Veselinovic. He plays quite a bit. He started 20 of the 21 matches he's appeared in. So they're missing some guys. Obviously, Arujo's out still with his back. Gervais out. Footmob says it's a knee injury, so I'm assuming he, tore something up in his knee. And then, what's that?
He's out probably for a bit.
Yeah, it says late November 2025, but obviously that's inaccurate because they said Rossi was out until late October, so you never know. Yeah. And then possibly somebody that could have been on the bench is Tahir Reed Brown. He's out with a thigh injury. So
my expectations is a loss this weekend. I'm gonna be quite honest. It's our last opportunity to see the boys in the regular season. I've missed the last 2 games, so for me, it's been close to 2 months since the last time I got to see the boys play live. So I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna support as always. I just don't see us do anything. Silver lining in this is the fact that it's a Western team, so the points don't go against somebody, in the Eastern Conference looking for us.
Yeah, they do. It's total points, David.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, affects that. But like I said, if I'm saying it sarcastically, if you can see positives in any of this, so that's that. Obviously, we're gonna finish the season in Toronto. I just
which is
yeah.
Toronto.
Yeah. So to finish, because I mean, honestly, I just don't have anything positive to bring to the conversation tonight, and reading all that criticism made me angry. And it's best not to say anything. All I have to say to our audience, thank you for always being there for us, and thank you for supporting us. Because it's difficult sometimes to do a show where we have to criticize people that we actually like and that we have met in person. And that's all our podcast is, just opinions. For all I know, because nobody knows what's gonna happen tomorrow. For all we know, we win the last 2 games. We go into the playoffs. We ended up lifting a championship. And you know what? I'm not gonna care what some tough guy online said about me. I'm just gonna enjoy the moment. So, with that said, I just want to thank everybody that watched us tonight live. Everybody everybody that put up with Ivy screaming because I don't know. And I just go and support the boys Saturday, and let's pray that the football gods smile on us going into the playoffs. And thank you to everybody that's gonna listen to us on audio later. Our audio numbers have been through the roof. Thank you very much for that. And everybody that follow us on social media, thank you very much for the support. So yeah, let's hope that Saturday we can go out with a bang on our homestands.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give my final thought, and then Luke, if you have anything else. Basically, David brought up season tickets. I was going to say this anyway tonight. Obviously, I've said it on here before. We didn't renew our season tickets. One, the ticket prices with the increase, you can find them match to match, about $5 to $7 cheaper per ticket, on a third party site. So it didn't make sense to me why we would be paying $20 a ticket, which is what approximately it equals out to, when we could be paying 15. Of course, the bigger match is going to be more expensive, but because of that, because they changed the age to try to make more money, they changed it from under 5 to under 3. We had to include Barrett on it, and then 2, I'm just sick and tired of giving my all at matches. I haven't watched the match. I kind of want to go back and see. There was one point where I was so sick and tired of how the wall was chanting a specific chant that I lost my mind and probably chanted louder than I've ever chanted before.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, when they do the 90 minutes we will sing. I can't think of what it's called, but in 90 minutes song. Um, uh, it's like a death march, and that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a very passionate chant, and the wall makes it sound like a death march, and it's sad because it's one of the greatest chants in the sport, and they've absolutely just killed the chant. But I'm tired of giving my all at matches, giving 110% at matches for what this is my opinion, and what it appears to me, that the front office only cares about making the dollar. They don't care about winning. The coaching staff only cares about appeasing, the general fan base, and doesn't care about winning trophies. And the players, most of the players seem to just be out there to make a paycheck, and nothing else really matters. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the one thing. As much as people hated, and now his name escapes my mind, our first manager in the MLS,
Adrian Heath.
Adrian Heath. The one thing you can say about Adrian Heath, about his players, is the players that played for him never looked like they didn't care. They always showed passion. You felt with that team, if they were down 2-3-0, they still had a shot to win it in the end. With this team, until Spicer came along, we didn't have that player. We didn't have any players that looked like that. Maybe Duncan. Duncan was out for a while. You can include Duncan in that. But most of our players look like they're just out there, with the exception of a few, to collect a paycheck, to take Instagram photos at Disney, and to grow their family, and that's all it is. And by the way, congratulations to Wilder Cartagena and his partner. They announced on Instagram they're expecting another baby, so he took full advantage of being injured this season.
So
That's my positivity for today. Is the congratulations.
adding on that, John. Spicer is playing like he's like trying to put food on the table. Like he's playing like he's got a statement to make, and what a player he's been for us. Because I was thinking former MLS signings, whatever, like he's just another one. But he's playing like he's trying to put food on the table. He's, shout out to him, definitely. But final thoughts. A lot of final thoughts, but one is just win on Saturday in a good fashion. Because we're not going to be playing at home. We're going to probably be playing. Well, it's the best of 3, isn't it? So we are going to be playing.
We'll have one home game.
We'll have one home game. Which I was actually going to say this. It might play in our favor because we're better playing. We play our style of play is playing away from home,
Right.
so it might actually play in our favor. To be honest, maybe this was our great devising plan of the year: is we don't get into a top 4 spot because we play better away from home. But yeah, final thoughts: just win on Saturday, put out a good performance, get into the playoffs. We're already in it, but get as high as you can. If we lose to Toronto, I'm not even discussing Toronto. That's not. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for having me on again. I appreciate it. I don't normally do these things.
No, thank you, Luke. Appreciate it. I mean, that's what the podcast is all about. Is just giving a voice to the supporters, and we appreciate you coming in. We wanna hopefully we'll have the whole crew next week, and you can still join us. I mean, so we'll see how it goes. John, do you wanna go ahead
I'll
and
call you, David. You're better at it than me.
okay? All right. So thank you very much for everybody that watched us live tonight, and everybody that's gonna be listening or watching us later on. And we're gonna be saying goodbye. The only way we know how. By reminding everybody that football is played on grass, not on paper. That football is cruel and unpredictable. That football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have your real football. For myself, John, Ahmed, Luke, and Misael, may God bless you. And also, always, vamos, Orlando!